we are back for another marchcana video.
Round of 16! Sweet 16!
And Elite 8 and Final Four. Wait, semifinals and then the finals.
Let's see who gets this.
So, we're actually probably just going to go ahead and start.
Okay.
So, first up in our matchup, we have Hades, Inferno, Schemo, and Moana. So, double Sapphire matchup again. Don't like this because I want Sapphire to get in the all top 4, but it will be fine, I think. But Hades is the one that lets you put a chosen card into the ink, and Moana is the one that lets you ink from your discard. So I feel like even though Hades will be putting Moana into your own ink roll, I think Moana already gave you enough ink, so I don't think you really need that extra ink. So I feel like it's just going to be banishing Moana.
Yep. I think in this stage, Hades has more control power over Moana than anything. And then, if I remember correctly, Hades is also a 2-quester. Moana's a 1-quester. The stat line for Moana is 3-4. So, to me, Hades holds the edge on the ability just to, banish Moana into the inkwell.
So Hades wins this one?
Hades wins this one.
Okay, for this next match, we have Grandmother Willow and Mickey Mouse Giant Mouse. Surprisingly, he has made it pretty far.
How?
Because he's Mickey Mouse.
He is Mickey Mouse. He is the mouse that built this house.
But Grandmother Willow is the one that lets you play one less each turn for the next character you play. So it's going to allow you to play 1-drops for free or make 2-drops, 1-drops, and so on. It's very good to get very wide very fast. It's like a ramp, but for aggro. And Mickey Mouse is basically a giant mouse. He's the 10-cost uninkable. That is the 10-10. And then has Quest for 5. Always the fun guy. He also has Bodyguard, and then whenever he's banished, he basically banishes all characters. He just deals 5 damage to all opposing characters. But since Grandmother Willow is in the aggro deck, all what Grandmother Willow really needs to do is quest. So I feel like Grandmother Willow Mickey Mouse is just 1 card, so I don't really think the aggro deck really needs to challenge into Mickey Mouse.
No, never does. But the thing is, I very rarely, when playing Grandmother Willow, ever turn her sideways, right? I'm using her ability, keeping her around just so that I can bring others along with me. And it's hard to gauge her ability head-to-head against Mickey just for the fact that, right, that's what we're trying to do. We're looking at each of these 2 cards. But Grandmother Willow helps everybody else. Helps the other cards, get you other cards out. So I don't know how to do this, Lucas. I got to look to you.
Okay, you gotta look to the bias guy against Mickey Mouse. Okay, basically I think Mickey Mouse wins this one. Like we always said, Grandmother will quest only 7 times until you play Mickey Mouse. That would be 8 lore. Mickey Mouse, you play him, challenges into Grandmother Will. Mickey Mouse has nothing against him.
Yeah, I am just surprised that Mickey's made it this long, but he's by himself just a very strong card. Okay, Mickey Mouse it is.
Especially in the type of rules that we have in like 1v1s. Come on, Mickey Mouse, I believe in you. And now we have Doc and Pocahontas. Doc is the well-known knight that will let you discard your hand and draw 2 cards. So very good with aggro when you try to get your hand out. Good. So this is one thing that Grandmother Will is good with. Being able to play Doc for only 1 ink and then drawing those 2 cards and then getting those out because of Grandmother Will's reduction of cost.
Yep.
And Pocahontas is the one if you shift her onto character you may, no, it's not may, all characters can't challenge, including the ones that your opponents plays that have rush, including the ones that you play after that have rush, and like nobody can challenge until the start of your next turn. But to be honest, I think Dark lets you draw those 2 cards. Pocahontas is a little bit too slow, so Dark is going to allow you to be able to flood the board very fast, and just gain yourself a bunch of long.
Yeah, Pocahontas can get out on turn with a shift. So I'm not saying that she's fast, but definitely not as slow as. But it's relying on the other Pocahontas, right? Another Pocahontas card. You're not typically challenging with Doc because he's only a 1/3. So Pocahontas' ability doesn't really do much against Doc. Being able to draw those 2 extra cards with Doc is a nice little add benefit. So again, this one for me is tough. I think I'm going to give the edge to Doc here.
Yeah.
Card draw.
I'm trying to get rid of every single Amber card. No Amber.
Well, here's no Amber card here. Mufasa and the Tramps meet Street Smart Dog.
Okay, Mufasa is the big guy, the 8 cost that's unlinkable, that returns 2 cards from your ink row to your hand when you play him, and also readies all your ink when you quest him. So very good to double Hades, really good to be able to just be able to get stuff out really fast, big cards for Sapphire. Very strong. And then Tramp is the 7 cost inkable one that lets you pay 1 less for each character you have on board. And when you play him, for every character that you have on board, you may draw a card and then discard that many cards. Very good filtering, very good way to be able to sing songs, very low stats, strong lore, strong everything. But against Mufasa, I think Mufasa has the bigger stats, has the bigger lore, has the bigger ability, has the bigger abilities. So I think Mufasa has to win this one.
Yeah, Mufasa probably is such a big character. It's hard to deal with any songs or characters that you're going to try and draw through Tramp's Street Smart Dog, right? He's not going to be affected by Under the Sea. If you're playing the Tramp, you're probably not going to have enough ink to play Storm. There's just I think Mufasa's a big character here and beats out Tramp.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want yet another amberish dog card to go to the wayside. And
but we got to.
And yet another Sapphire card here too, right?
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Clarabo versus Allure means family. Okay, Clarabo is the one that lets you draw, at the end of your turn, draw as many cards as your opponent has in their hand. So if you have 3 cards in your hand and your opponent has 6, drop to 3. But if your opponent has 6 cards in your hand but you have 8 cards in your hand, you don't discard, you don't draw. So you don't lose anything. But it's going against Allure means family. Allure means family. Clarabo is a big stat line with 5 strength, so that'd be a good thing to run something into. But if you do that and heal with Allure family, your opponent's going to be able to draw even more cards. Mm-hmm. And also, in the deck that Clarabo is, there is a possibility of Bend to My Will. So I think Clarabo easily wins this matchup.
Yeah, right. You'd rather have a body than a song in this with the card draw. Yeah. Love the artwork on Ohana, but Clarabelle, you're going to dance your way into the Elite Eight.
Down with the amber. Down with the amber. For this next matchup, we have Demona and P. Okay. These are both very good cards. So Demona's the one that lets you, when you play her, exalt all opposing characters, and also draw up to 3 cards. You draw up to 3 cards, your opponent also draws up to 3 cards. You don't discard down to 3 cards like Goliath or something. And Pete's the one that has boost 1, and every single time he quests, you may look at how many cards are under him. So if there's 3 cards under him, you may look at 3 cards from the deck, and pick 1 to put into your hand. If there's only 1, you basically just draw the top card. If there's like 2, it's like a develop. So I feel like Pete is very strong if you only want like a very simple filter, or if you just want card draw.
But adding to the stat lines, Pete's a 4/4, Demona's a 5.
Pete is a 5/5.
5/5.
Demona's a 3/6. But since we're drawing cards here, I feel like we're gonna have to say what the other cards are.
Yeah.
So what you usually find after Demona in that purple deck is usually probably like in genies, sometimes maybe some cats because Demona's a big character. Things that help and like keep on moving. What you usually find in Sapphire though is usually like Hades, Ramp, big cards. I feel like big cards are very strong against purple, because like purple is good about its card draw and its swarm, but big cards being able to get rid of those slowly but actually surely. I think Sapphire is the bigger deck. Sapphire is bigger than purple.
Right. But the moment Demona comes in, Pete gets exerted. Demona can, I know that she doesn't have rush, but she herself is able to take care of Pete and still survive that hit as actually a 5/6. So me personally, I'm gonna put Demona into the next round.
I will agree. I do agree to that. I was like, oh no, Pete is 1 ink away from being up to Hades immediately after the Demona. So like, if I was able to do it, Pete would have won. But Demona's just better. The big card. Ooh, okay. So next we have Stitch, Carefree Surfer, and Go Go Tamago. For Stitch, he is the 4/8 Carefree Surfer Stitch, not the 4/5. They're very similar. I thought they were like banning that Stitch and like making that Stitch the new one. I was like, they don't need to do that. That's just gonna ruin everything.
Carefree Snowboarder.
Yeah, because I thought they were just like completely redoing him. I was like, no, not my Stitch. Because I really wanted this 7-drop Stitch to work. Because he's the 7-drop Inkable that quests for 2, and he's Amber. For Amber, 7-drop is not what you really want, because like it's a high cost. Amber's usually aggro. You don't really want that.
But Go Go Tamago is the one that allows you to pay 2 additional ink and gain the lore equal to the number of damage on an opposing character. The lore gain's great, but Go Go's stat lines are 2/2.
It has evasive though.
But it has evasive. That is true. And quests for
1. If it quested for 2, it would have 1. And like maybe have been uninkable.
Does this mean an Amber card is going to sneak in?
But here's the thing: Stitch is a 4/8. 4/8 is a big stat line to be able to gain 7 lore off of.
Yeah. Looking at the original art from and the art, guess who makes an appearance in the card? Pudge.
Yeah, just because of Pudge, I'm not going to win. And also because of Stitch.
Stitch with the assist from Pudge.
This is the only reason why I would let a single Amber card go through.
All right.
We have Let It Go and Headless Horseman.
Yep, our last matchup in the Sweet 16. So Let It Go is a song action song that allows you to banish one of your opposing.
It puts them in the inkwell.
Yeah, makes you put it in the inkwell, whereas Headless Horseman, you banish chosen opposing character. And what are the requirements
Has
about it?
Horseman lets you banish opposing characters 2 strength or
Two
less.
strength or less. Well, Let It Go has no strength.
And Let It Go is not a character, so I think Let It Go wins this one.
What?
Yes!
Headless Horseman, though, again, I go with the idea of the body, and then the additional ability to give whenever
Here's the
Headless Horseman
thing, here's the
banishes.
thing. With Let It Go, you can sing it and play it for free, and being free is better than like 5 ink. So I think being able to sing something to banish something instead of having to pay 5 ink to banish something is better with constraints.
Whew. That's some strong logic there. Um, I will. We don't have any other songs that are making it through, so maybe let this one squeak by. I'll be interested to see what happens in the Elite Eight.
Yay.
It feels like you're giving a lot of preference to those Sapphire cards.
Maybe.
So, as we prepare for the next round, we're going to just jump in right to the next round, and let's do a quick recap. I think we've got Hades and Mickey Mouse. That's a Sapphire Steel matchup. Then you've got Doc and Mufasa, which is another Sapphire Steel matchup. Clarabelle Demona, which is an Emerald and Amethyst. Let It Go, another Sapphire with Stitch Amber. The only color that did not have a card make it to this round is Ruby.
No, I think Ruby's the worst color of the set. There's only one deck that has it, and that is Ruby Amber. And that Ruby Amber deck, not that great. And on the top of my head, the second best is maybe Purple Ruby, but like still, Purple Ruby's not that good. So that's why I feel weird playing Purple Ruby. Like, what am I doing?
Right. Maui got bounced, right? How Shark?
Wait, what? How did he get bounced?
Did we put him into the
Oh no, he got out. He's out.
Yeah, Maui got put out. So that was, I think, the strongest card coming in for representing Ruby. So, all right, now that we know our lineup, let's start talking. I think we're gonna have a harder and harder time deciding who moves on.
Okay, well, you gotta start that with Hades and Mickey Mouse. I'm sorry, I think Mickey Mouse's journey has come to an end. I think Hades just puts Mickey Mouse in the inkwell, not going to trigger the ability. Even if it did, Hades would survive. Hades has to win this one.
Yeah, actually, I said that there was going to be some debate, and I agree 100% with you. Hades is going through. Sorry, Mouse, you're done. Your Cinderella run has come to an end.
Oh. Well, that's another Sapphire. Yes. Well, next we have Doc and Mufasa. This is interesting because Doc is going to allow you to draw those 2 cards, but Mufasa is going to allow you to technically draw those 2 cards. I think, and since Mufasa's in Sapphire, doesn't that mean like you could draw like Spooky Side, you could draw another Hades, you can draw another Let It Go, you could draw like something to make it be able to get rid of extra cards extra fast against this Dark speed.
Yeah, yeah. And the fact that Mufasa every time he quests, correct?
Yes, it's gonna ready your ink, so you're gonna have infinite ink. So like if you draw a Hades and Let It Go, instead of challenging, you can just like Hades and Let It Go to develop your board and have roll. So I think Mufasa, my opinion, I think Mufasa wins this one. The only way Doc could win is that if he draws like another Doc and like a two questel that's not Daisy Duck, and like you draw another Doc and you draw another Doc and then you draw another Doc, but the chances of you drawing two Docs in a row is about like 1 in like 400.
And having the ink to play it is difficult, right? So sadly, I just don't think Doc has the stat lines in addition to his ability to hold up to Mufasa.
Yay, go Mufasa. Okay, these are going faster than I thought they were gonna go.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Clarabelle and Demona, two of the best card draw cards in the game right now. Clarabelle is going to let you draw to however many your opponent has. So since Demona lets you both draw up to 3, when you play Demona, you usually can't really like do that much. So your opponent will be drawing up to two cards because they have Clarabelle. They'll be inking one of those, playing Clarabelle, drawing back up to 3 cards because you have 3 cards. And then after that, Popo usually at max plays 2 cards after they play Demona the next turn. And then you just empty your hand somehow. Cause I don't know how like these big expensive people players like do that, and then they just like draw up to your cards, make you draw a bunch of cards. You can only play so many, and then you just spin to my will, and then just win. I think Clarabelle wins this one since it's bigger and it's better.
Yeah, I just comparing the cards themselves. Clarabelle is a 7 cost inkable, 5/6 2 quester. Demona is a 6 cost inkable, 5/6 2 quester. So their stat lines are very similar. The abilities, as you described, are based on card draw. The one thing that I am going to say tips Clarabelle for me is that Demona has that if you have 3 or more cards in your hand, this character can't ready that Stone by Day. So there are some situations where Demona can't do anything if she exerts. So again, yep, I agree with you, Lucas. I'm going to go with Clarabelle.
Yeah, I wish Popo could make it further, but it wouldn't be really fair if I make it that much.
Bye-bye, Amethyst.
Okay, we have Stitch, Carefree, Sulfur, and Sapphire. Well, nah, and Sapphire, which is probably gonna make it. Let it go. Let it go. Just like Hades, simply just gets rid of Stitch. You can also sing it, by the way.
Yeah, but Stitch is going to also come in with other cards, right? You're going to be able to draw other cards if you have 2 other characters on board. Yes, again, we're relying on that board state, and it creates that it's not head to head, card to card. But I'm surprised about how far Let It Go is making it, just because you sing it once, it's done. With Stitch, he's a body on board. He's questing for 2. He can go into a lot of other characters. He gets you that extra little card draw. I have to continue to advocate for a character with good abilities. I'm going with Stitch.
Okay, I'll go with Stitch too because he has Stitch and Pudge in it. Okay, so looks like we have all those matchups.
All right, quick recap here. We now have in our semifinal round, we have Hades going up against Mufasa, so a Sapphire matchup here. And then we have Clarabelle going up against Stitch, Carefree Surfer, with an Emerald Amber.
Looks like Sapphire going against Sapphire. So it looks like Steel didn't make it to the finals. Ruby didn't make it to the finals, and whatever actually
Amethyst.
Amethyst? Yeah, Amethyst made it. No, they did not. Amethyst did not make it. That is surprising.
It is coming in with Demona, who got bounced out by Clarabelle, which I agree with. But then you also we lost Cheshire Cat along the way, which was another strong card. We quickly going through our list.
Hades got knocked out by giant Mickey Mouse.
That's looking for a deal. Sven also with his evasive, his rush, his challenger.
Yeah, he has Challenger. I don't know why he has Challenger. That should not be allowed. I wish he did not have his rush and then was inkable so I could play him in my Peter Pan Infinity deck.
Oh, look at that. Yzma got knocked out by Mickey Mouse in the second round, so another Amethyst card getting knocked out. So, I'm kind of surprised that Amethyst didn't make it through, even though there were a lot of strong candidates.
Mm-hmm. And another big matchup I was looking at, I'm still surprised that Pocahontas, the underrated legendary from the set, got Yago out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got the semifinals before I even knew it.
Here we are, our final four cards. Do you want to do a quick summary of their abilities before we get into the debate?
Nah.
Okay.
But for the semifinals and the finals, we will have 3 different categories of who wins.
Okay.
So the first category is ult, and if they have an enchanted, what is the ult like and that stuff. So if they have an enchanted, they have a free matchup unless the other person has enchanted. I won't give examples yet though. The second one is card abilities. Are the card abilities good and how strong are they? And then the last one is if they were in a head-to-head matchup. So the difference between head-to-head matchup is and abilities is which one has stronger abilities by itself and on paper, and then which one is better against each other in the actual game if those were the 2 cards against each other.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, first I would like to say all 4 of our cards have enchantments of them. Yeah. Which is gonna make it extremely cool. So now instead of just showing you the normal version, we'll be showing you the enchanted version of it, so you also get to see what we are looking at. And we are pulling these enchantments up right now. Let's go ahead and go with Clarabelle and Stitch. Okay. First with the enchanted, you kind of already know what the biased mint is going to be. But if, as you can see on the screen, Clarabelle is kind of twirling in a circle with air around her and bright colors and just looks happy. Looks cool. But when you see Stitch, he got Pudge in the sandwich and, of course, Stitch surfing on water. It will be amazing. Oh, he's actually doing a whole handstand with one arm.
And Pudge is taking Stitch's peanut butter and jelly sandwich away.
This is probably my favorite enchanted other than Rockstar. Even though Rockstar is a little bit less fancy. But this one's so much more fan known, so I gotta go with Stitch for the art.
Yeah. Clarabelle, I like how the colors match the card matches the color that she is. Her dress is green, and she just looks like she's having she's carefree in the way that she's dancing.
Carefree dancer.
Yeah, but Stitch is chasing Pudge in his enchanted. I'm always a big Stitch fan. And I'm gonna go with the art.
I don't know how many people know this, but if you look below the in his text area, you can see the wave kind of crashing.
Oh, good call. I think that's a nice touch by the artist.
Mm-hmm. not trying to be mean against the artist, but the Clever one is like not exactly like full. It's a little bit more blurred at the bottom compared to the Stitch one. So I think I gotta go Stitch, 100%.
Okay, that's the artwork for Stitch. Now let's talk about the abilities. So Stitch's ability is when you play this character, if you have 2 or more other characters in play, you may draw 2 cards. With Clarabelle, her ability, she has Shift 5. At the end of your turn, if chosen opposing opponent has more cards in their hands than you may draw cards until you have the same number.
Okay, let's do them against head-to-head because we already know what the answer head-to-head is.
Right.
Stitch, you're going to be able to draw 2 cards, but your opponent doesn't really care. You're going to be able to draw up to that many cards too, and then also bend to my will, like I always like saying. So I think Clarabelle wins the head-to-head matchup because of the ability to draw against drawing cards. I feel like, I'm sorry, Clarabelle, but you had like an easy matchup so far because of this ability. You had Demona, you had Stitch. I'm pretty sure you had like another card draw card.
Yeah.
So like Clarabelle got a good route so far.
Agreed.
But game's game.
Right. Clarabelle too. Right. Clarabelle's ability has multiple triggers every turn, whereas Stitch is only on the turn that he's played. So agree. Clarabelle gets a point for the ability.
But the reason why I did that next is because the ability by itself is a big dispute. Even though we said Clarabelle is like a better card draw card sometimes, but if you look at the color that the card is in, green had a decent amount of card draw over its years.
Fair.
Had like now it doesn't have that much in like Clarabelle's it's only foam, but like over its years you have seen a lot of good card draw, like Prince John and Diablo, probably the top 2 you think of immediately. But the only card draw Amber ever had that actually let you draw cards is probably Rapunzel. Rapunzel was like probably a mistake by Lacana.
No, never a mistake.
Same thing with Diablo. That was also a mistake. I like how you didn't say never a mistake whenever it came up to Diablo banning him. But I think Stitch, in his color of his uniqueness of his ability in his color, I think Stitch wins this.
As with head-to-head abilities, do you want to take account willpower and strength? Do you want to take into consideration quests, lore?
They both quest for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Stitch is the 4-8 and Clarabelle's the 5-6. But Clarabelle has shift 5. So like you can get her down earlier. But if you're talking about the other cards, Stitch could go right into her and then just Alone Means Family and draw 5 cards. But since this is just a head-to-head matchup, not head-to-head matchup, just by themselves, I think Stitch still wins it because your Clarabelle is a little bit more depending on your opponent. The Stitch is more depending on you, so you can control. Your opponent has the control about Clarabelle. So I think control is better than not controlling. Come on, you gotta go Stitch!
So I really think, for me, it's just such a close call based on their card abilities, their card stats. They're both allies. Stitch has the alien designation, and we've seen some alien cards start popping into the game a little bit more. So that gives him some extra benefits from other cards that might draw from him. Clarabelle is a Floodborn, Stitch is a Dreamborn. I don't think we've really capitalized on any of those classifications just yet.
Fuck yeah.
So with the combination of the card designations, the strengths, I'm going to give it to Stitch because of the alien designation.
Woohoo! Well, Stitch, you have made it to the finals! Let's go! Well, It's an Amber card, so sorry, Stitch. But
Amber,
no,
Amber,
no, no.
Amber. Though Clarabelle did put up a pretty good fight. It was a 2-1 on our aggregate scoring, with Clarabelle taking the the pure ability, Stitch taking the art and the card total ability.
Mm.
All right. Our next matchup: Hades, Infernal Schemer, Mufasa.
These both also have enchantments. Hades is a little bit more earlier. He was actually a reprint enchanted, so that's cool. And not so that means like not as many people know about his enchanted because like it's like less common. And I actually don't remember the things, so right now we got to pull the enchantments up. But I can say that Hades kind of like in a pose of like holding two orbs, kind of,
Yeah.
and like kind of has this villain arc and like. It's like blue.
Yep.
Like I like the blue. The blue's really cool.
The blue gold combination.
And then I bet on the actual card itself, like gold. The gold is actually kind of extra shiny. And then if you don't like again, but his bottom is kind of like blowed out again. I think that's like a purpose on design.
Yeah. And to me, Hades looks punk with his mohawk. It looks like he has a mohawk with the way that his flame is drawn. But then you've got Mufasa, which has a lot of blue in its color, but it kind of gets lost because you can't tell 100% that it's a sapphire card, because the bottom is kind of has a green tint to it. The sky has a purple tint to it. Mufasa himself is more amber-like.
Yeah.
So it's not as clear to me that Mufasa is that sapphire card.
I do like the flowers though. The flowers, that's really cool. The flowers are beautiful. I like it. I like the clouds and the flowers, but like it looks like it's hand paint. It looks like a painted card. I gotta go with Mufasa. I don't know why, but I like Mufasa because it looks hand painted.
Yeah.
So even if it's computer like made, the computer made it look like it is painted, which I really like.
I like Hades a little bit more as far as the crispness. Like I get you. Some people like digital art. Some people like physically hand painted. I do agree that I appreciate the time that the artists took in if this wasn't in fact hand painted, but the majestic look of Mufasa. He looks like he's looking over the Pride Lands with a lot of pride, and I think I'll agree with you, Lucas. Let's go give the artwork to Mufasa.
Oh, yes. He's going to need that.
Why is that?
Because next up for our judging, we have face-to-face matchup. Okay.
Straight abilities, right?
Yeah, straight abilities.
So the abilities for Mufasa: when you play this character, exert all cards in your inkwell. Then return 2 cards at random from your inkwell to your hand. That's the delicate balance. Then everything the light touches. Whenever this character quests, ready all your cards in the inkwell.
Okay.
That's solid, though.
Here's the thing. Hades lets you put card into your opponent's inkwell, so the Mufasa's not really going to be able to get that second ability, but his first ability he's going to be able to get, returning those 2 cards from your inkwell to your hand.
Mm-hmm.
That is vital in this matchup. I feel like Hades in the ability range chooses a character, but Mufasa has the ability to continue choosing doing that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if your opponent doesn't get rid of Mufasa, it can be punishing. If your opponent gets rid of Mufasa, you still have the 2 cards.
And what's that one card that can get rid of Mufasa?
Hades. But this is the abilities right now, if you didn't know that.
Okay.
But I feel like, since you brought that up, Hades can get rid of Mufasa. Hades has to win. I feel like Hades has to be it too. Since he's like the only card that can get rid of Mufasa efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the pure counter to Mufasa. So I think Hades wins that point.
Based on the card, the ability of the card itself. I agree with that. But I'm interested to see where you're going with the overall card abilities.
Like the stats and the abilities and stuff like that. Well, like we were saying earlier, that Mufasa is the one that lets you do everything, basically. He's allow you to take 2 turns in a row, other than just drawing that extra card. That's what I was talking about. Like, imagine if Lacana could have a card that lets you skip your opponent's turn. That'd be such a good card. And Mufasa kind of does that. And, like, I feel like Mufasa is just such a strong card, other than whenever he quests. If it was like, whenever he, like, exerts himself to do it, it wouldn't be that good because he quests for 4. And being able to quest for 4 and ready your ink, basically saying you can go again, is super strong, especially since he's a 4/9 that Hades would have a hard time being able to get rid of.
Yeah, just that is a strong ability with the 4 quester. Instantly doubles up Hades, which is a 2 quester. The stat lines for the willpower and strength for 9 versus 3/6. They're both uninkable. From a 7 to, Mufasa's an 8 uninkable. Hades is a 7 uninkable. From a pure card ability standpoint, looking at it all together, it's Mufasa for me.
I gotta go with Mufasa. Sorry, Hades, but your second stats are not good enough.
I will say, hanging in there, and I still, this doesn't change my vote, but Hades does bring in that villain and deity characteristic, which is starting to see a little more play, but unfortunately for villain, Darkwing Duck comes in and starts can oppose Hades, while Mufasa carries the mentor and King. I haven't seen any mentor ability complements, but King definitely has a couple of boosts out there from other cards.
Yeah, it's more like princess and queen abilities.
Yeah, fair.
Well, here it comes. Final match up. Here we go.
Who do we have?
We got Mufasa and Stitch. Carefree Stitch. So far, I'm still surprised that Stitch made it all this way.
And we brought it up before. We'll bring it up again. It's a cat versus dog final.
Oh, which one do you like better? Cats or dogs? I like cats more, but I like dogs more if it comes to Stitch.
Yeah, if we're going that way, I think cats are easier to take care of. Dogs will give you a lot more love.
I think for the enchanted thing, I gotta say Stitch, but I'll give you my reasoning. Stitch is one more of the classic things everybody knows about. It has Pudge, it has a lot more happening. It has like more action than Mufasa. It has like, you can look at stuff. Each time I look at it again, it looks like it's slightly different.
Yep, there's so many things that can draw your eye to where Stitch, what's going on in that Enchanted. So, and it makes you smile, right? You've got Pudge in there stealing Stitch's sandwich. You've got the waves crashing down. I like Stitch, Carefree Searcher, Enchanted. Mufasa, it brings you a lot of pride. But again, the overall color of it, there's a lot of different colors that make you think, what color is this card supposed to be? So I agree with the artwork on Stitch with you.
Yes, come on, Stitch. You're only halfway there.
Are we also looking at two? Oh, no, I was wrong. I was thinking Mufasa for some reason was from set 1, but Mufasa's from set 5.
Yeah, people can still play Mufasa, which is scary.
Fair. Well,
Wait, people can also play Stitch.
because of the reprint.
Yes. Yay. But after the end of the day, we still have 2 more rounds to go.
What are we reviewing next?
We are going over their abilities by itself.
Okay.
So they are very similar stat lines, but think about the stats. Stitch is an inkable, Mufasa is an A-cost uninkable. So that Stitch got that 1 point. But for like the willpower and strength, Mufasa has it better by 1 willpower.
Mm-hmm.
For lore, Mufasa has it better by 1 lore. By ability, Mufasa lets you draw 2 cards. Mufasa lets you return cards. Ready cards let you have double ink, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But Stitch lets you draw 2 cards, which Mufasa does, and lets you have double ink. So I think Mufasa wins by this abilities by itself because of it kind of repeats what Stitch does, but returning it to your hand.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with you there. Mufasa just has gets you the lore quicker, has some pretty solid abilities, and you're right, that extra willpower is helps out a bit because as a 4/8, it would take Stitch 3 turns to challenge into Mufasa, whereas it would only take Mufasa 2 turns to go into Stitch.
Hey, we're talking about those stat lines by themselves. Not talking about if they were in a face-to-face combat right now.
Okay.
Well, Mufasa gets that point.
All right.
Well,
And the final gauge is?
if they were 1v1ing each other.
Okay. So you heard my feelings on this.
You go with Mufasa. How can I convince him that Stitch is better? Stitch lets you draw 2 cards. Mufasa makes you put 2 cards to your hand. Stitch can immediately act on Mufasa. If Mufasa, because Stitch is a 7-drop, Mufasa is an 8-drop. So right when the opponent plays Mufasa, Stitch has cards in your hand. The only deck I remember Stitch is playing in is usually Sapphire. Sapphire has Hades. Sapphire has Let It Go. Sapphire has a lot of stuff to be able to do that. Sapphire has Develop Your Brain. Amber has Storm. So you can this immediately wipe Mufasa off the board. Have your opponent has 2 cards, but now they have less ink. So I think Stitch in the head-to-head matchup right now gotta win this. Come on. Think about it.
I think there's some bias here.
No, there's not. Like.
With the 4 quester, the ability to draw cards, and then also the ability to ready your ink every time it quests. Mufasa is just a strong card in itself.
Well, why can't you just Hades it? Then his second ability is useless. Now his lore is not great, and now his first ability kind of is a downside if you compare it to Stitch's.
If we could have just Hades it, Hades would have won the last round.
But it's an 8-drop, and Hades is a card by itself. Hades doesn't let you draw cards.
Mm-hmm.
Stitch draws a Hades, draws it, Let It Go. You will be able to do that right after, and you can even sing Let It Go and play another card. And now, in comparing to just Hades, Hades is going to be able to get rid of Mufasa, but your opponent still has 2 cards in their hand to be able to play, including possibly a Hades, including possibly Let It Go, including possibly a card to be able to get rid of Hades by challenging by just a normal ability, by exhorting him and putting him to his inkwell. I think that compared to Stitch lets you draw 2 cards. I think you would rather have 2 cards in. Actually, you get a card and putting him into inkwell, so you have that second card to help you boost after Mufasa plays his
Okay.
cards.
Strong reasoning, strong. Um, I'm gonna bring in a different rating scale. Instead, let's talk about the movie.
Stitch is better. You just gave me a free win.
Well,
Stitch is one of the most popular movies in not Locana, Disney's thing. Stitch is more known than Mufasa. Lion King, yes, it's an old movie for like oldie people and like
ouch,
kids.
ouch. Oh.
Stitch is also an older movie, but more kids watch. It's actually saying which one's better, Frozen or dinosaurs.
I will say that Lion King, and what I'm going to give you here is that I do agree that Stitch is the better movie because of the redemption story that Stitch has, right? He's this little trickster, this misfit, that intergalactic misfit that comes to Earth and through the Lilo is able to redeem himself and be the hero at the end of the movie. Mufasa doesn't make it through the movie.
I'm pretty sure he makes it like 10 minutes in and he's already for some reason dead. I don't know why, but like he's just disappeared off a cliff.
Yep. So then the rest of the story is about his son, and though any good father passes on good morals, characteristics, and being a good lion cub. Mufasa did all of that, but like I said, he doesn't make it through the full movie and ends up being in the sky and the stars looking down upon Simba.
I think he's in heaven right now.
Kitty heaven. So based on that, I'm going to the movie. I will agree with you, and let's crown our first marchcana champion. Down. Stitch. Carefree Surfer. All right. So Lucas puts the final score of Carefree Surfer at 6-6 versus Mufasa as 262. Odd numbering pair, but I think legitimate. So, Lucas, what'd you think? marchcana, a journey from 64 cards to the champion Stitch Carefree Surfer.
Hey, Stitch, how was it?
Oh, I think it was amazing. I had some good matchups. I think Clairville was a pretty tough one, and then Mufasa, that one big old guy over there, was like not letting me win until he brought up the movies. Other than that, it was kind of easy.
Wow. Thank you for the interview, Stitch. Congratulations.
Well, that brings it up, and thank you, Stitch, for winning to make me happy.
All right. Maybe we'll try this again in other formats, other years. Tell us what you think and what you might suggest that we do better or include next time around. But I appreciate everybody listening in, and happy marchcana, happy March Madness. Let's go sports.
Yeah.